Hey, welcome back to Landscape Alert, where this week we are going to be talking about retaining walls. Now, in this channel, we primarily focus on the design aspect of a landscape project and also sometimes some really sweet drone footage, but not really on the building aspect of said things. Now, it doesn't mean that that's not important. In fact, it is really important, but generally we talked about the design and where you should place it depending on your needs. Retaining walls may be a key factor to making your front and or backyard more usable than it already is. Now, there are some great channels here in YouTube land where you can definitely go and they will not only show you how to build them correctly, they will also explain the mechanics and science behind them. Now, for the most part, retaining walls that are generally seen in most landscapes are retaining walls that rely solely on its own weight to stand up, and those are actually called gravity walls. Being that there are many styles of walls, you will see some that will be based off some type of block, man-made block, or also some that utilize natural materials such as granite or river boulders or even some stacked stones. In this video, we're going to be focusing on the Allan blocks. And those are ideal and designed for this purpose. In fact, they are combined for the basic engineering principles of the setback. This essentially is this little lip, if you will, that has at the end or maybe at the beginning to actually create this angles for this type of walls. Now, these are the kind of walls that it needs about a 12-degree angle. Now, this is the leverage of total unit mass with simple mechanics to make highly stable gravity walls. And that is very important if you are going to be tackling this type of project. Now, one of the things that you definitely want to consider is the reason why you would need this wall if it's in your front yard or your back or anywhere else around your property. Now, the purpose of these walls are essentially to create a flat and or level area, be it at the top or the bottom. This is going to be primarily if there's a big enough slope where you may need 1, 2, 3 and or more walls. So one of the projects that I've done in the past is where from the house out we'll do this retaining wall, this gravity wall, where we'll have not only the top but also below area to be level, where you're going to have a pad on the top and below you can have something else like say a synthetic turf area, which we actually did, and there's a picture right there. But generally what you are wanting to know or wanting to think about is the length and also the height. If they go above 4 feet in most states, you are going to be required to have an engineer come into play and design this wall itself. And it's obviously going to depend on also a few different factors, but keep in mind that you definitely want to talk to professionals about the walls. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be some type of engineering involved in or design. It just means that there's going to be some more steps if you decide to put a wall that is way higher than this measurements. Some of the things that you also are going to want to think about is when you are doing this yourself. I am drawing here something that will look like the design of the wall itself. Now, this is not the only one. There's obviously many out there that you can look for, including the videos that I said earlier in YouTube. So you definitely want to think about your existing soil where you're going to have to put a base, and then on top of that you are going to be putting your rows of block, and those rows of block are going to depend again on how much or what height you are looking for, and you're going to finish it off with a cap, and then behind it you are are going to have a drain pipe, you're going to have a liner and or fabric, you're going to have some backfill structural 3/4 inch granite of some type, and of course your backfill soil. Again, it's going to depend on your needs, so you may need to have 1 or 2 walls to create this flat surface on top, or the other way around on the bottom part. But this is ideal if you definitely want to have this area to be flatter, and if your property requires it. Parts of the country are going to definitely need that, especially if you live in an area where there's a lot of hills, especially in the mountain area of the states. But this is in general what you are looking for. Now, of course, when you are designing, you are going to think about how much space you need and what you are working with. Of course, every single project that I've worked on is always different, and even though some people may think that they require a large wall in height and length, sometimes they actually don't. So it's going to be a case-by-case scenario where you may actually need this or may not. So it's going to be important to contact your local designer that will be able to help. Of course, I'm just giving you this information. This is one of those things that's a little hard to tell just by looking at bird's eye view. You definitely have to be there. You definitely want to know what you're working with and the purpose behind this. Of course, that comes with a lot of other details, the bearing weight and more stuff like that, including the materials that would be best suited for your area. I hope this actually gives you some ideas as to how you would be approaching this if you need to do this. So what do you think about this? Is this something that you need? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you want me to put more designs where I incorporate this type of things. At the beginning of the video, I did put some footage of some of the projects that I have been involved in as far as creating this type of walls and in this type of landscapes. Let me know. Do all that YouTube stuff that people ask you, that thumbs up and all that good stuff. This definitely does help. But don't forget the motto here, which is Dream, Design, Create. And I will see you guys on the next video. Take care. Bye.